If there's one thing every Bears fan loves, it's seeing the game turn before it even begins. And on this draft night, that chance is real. There's a specific moment in the NFL draft that separates average teams from truly smart ones. It's not at the top, where the obvious names get picked. It's at the end of the first round. That territory where few see value, but where the quiet, game-changing moves happen. And for the first time in a long time, the Chicago Bears are right there. And you know what? That can change everything. In recent years, the back end of the first round has basically turned into a chessboard. Trades happening, desperate teams trying to secure their future, while others, calmer, more organized, wait for the right moment to profit. And the Bears are finally in that second group. Without that typical desperation of a team trying to fix everything at once, Chicago enters this round with something rare: strategic freedom. While other franchises are racing against the clock, trying to save their projects, the Bears can simply observe and choose the perfect moment to act. And that's where the Arizona Cardinals come in. A team hungry for a future, with a clear need, with urgency written all over them. They want a quarterback. They need a face of the franchise. And even though this year's class isn't exactly stacked at the position, there's one name starting to generate buzz: Ty Simpson from Alabama. He's not a unanimous prospect, not a guaranteed success, but in desperation, he becomes gold. Simpson carries that kind of narrative that keeps general managers up at night. Confirmed attendance at the draft, signs he could go earlier than expected, and a perfect scenario forming. If he slips past a few key picks, he instantly becomes the target of an aggressive trade-up. And who's waiting for that? Chicago. The Bears are sitting in a perfect spot. They know teams like Arizona could flip into urgency mode. They know teams like the Jets are also watching quarterbacks closely. They know that if the board falls just right, someone is going to pay up. Big time. The possibility of a trade involving the Bears pick isn't just real, it's strategic. Arizona, sitting at the top of the second round, has every reason to move up, and fast. Jumping ahead of direct competition could be the difference between landing a QB or watching another team take him. And when fear enters the equation, the price goes up. There's talk of a package that could include pick 64, an extremely valuable asset, plus future compensation. For Chicago, this isn't just a trade. It's a golden opportunity to turn one pick into multiple talents. And the best part? Without losing competitiveness. Because let's be honest, while there are interesting names around pick 25, the collective value of multiple picks can be much greater. Especially in a class where the talent drop from late first round to early second isn't that steep. That's where smart management comes in. While other teams trade up under pressure, the Bears can trade down calmly, stacking draft capital, strengthening multiple position groups, and building real depth. Defensive line, secondary, even offensive reinforcements, everything becomes more accessible with well-positioned picks. And that completely changes the picture. Because it's not just about who you draft, it's about how many good players you can bring in. And at that point, Chicago could walk away as one of the biggest winners of the night, even without making the flashiest pick. The feeling is clear. Something is building. A quiet but extremely powerful move. A play that might not make headlines immediately, but down the road could be remembered as the moment the Bears operated like an elite franchise. And if Arizona really jumps into the game, if Ty Simpson's name starts scaring other teams, if the phone rings at the Bears table, the story can change in seconds. And this time, we're not chasing. We're in control. But this is where things get even more interesting. Because we're not just talking about any trade, we're talking about one of those rare moments where the entire context works in Chicago's favor. If you look at it objectively, the Bears do have some clear needs. Defensive line, edge rusher, maybe secondary help. But none of those needs are so urgent that they force a rushed decision. And in the NFL, that's a massive advantage. Because while other teams are under pressure, the Bears can negotiate. and negotiate well. Picture this scenario. Arizona starts to feel the weight of the decision. The clock is ticking, Ty Simpson is still on the board, and the fear of missing out on a quarterback, even one who isn't a perfect prospect, starts to hit hard. At the same time, other nearby teams might also be watching. The Jets, maybe, or even a surprise team trying to secure that valuable fifth-year option. Suddenly, it's not just a trade anymore. It's an
auction. And Chicago is holding the most valuable asset at the table. If the Cardinals really want to move up, they'll have to pay, and pay big. Pick 64 becomes a key piece in the deal, and it wouldn't be surprising at all to see a future pick added as well. We've seen this exact scenario before, and usually the team that waits comes out on top. And that's exactly what the Bears can do now. Wait and capitalize. Because by moving down a few spots, the team not only keeps access to similarly graded players, but also gains flexibility. And that word means everything in a draft like this. With multiple picks in that late second to early third round range, Chicago could build a real cluster of reinforcements. 3 players with immediate starter potential isn't an exaggeration, it's completely realistic. And think about the impact. A solid defensive tackle, a defensive back ready to contribute right away, an edge rusher with development upside. Suddenly, you didn't just solve one
problem, you strengthened the entire roster. That's smart team building. Sure, there are names that would get fans excited at pick 25. Players like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren or Dylan Thieneman would be great additions, the kind of picks that make you jump off the couch. But building a winning team goes beyond one flashy name. It's about volume, it's about depth, it's about building a roster that can compete all season long, not just shine in isolated moments. And in that sense, trading down might be the best possible move, especially when you know there are desperate teams willing to make it easy for you. And there's more, the psychological game. Teams like the 49ers, for example, might get involved not because they want Simpson, but because they understand they can influence other teams' outcomes. One small move, one strategic deal, and suddenly you've changed the entire scenario for a rival. That kind of dynamic only increases the value of the Bears' pick. Everything is
aligned. Other teams' needs, Chicago's strategic position, the timing of the draft, the lack of reliable quarterbacks. It's the kind of combination you don't see every year. And when it shows up, you have to take advantage. Because this could be the difference between just having a good draft or walking away as one of the biggest winners in the league. And as a Bears fan, it's impossible not to feel that mix of anxiety and excitement. That feeling that something big could happen at any moment. That this time, the franchise isn't reacting, it's setting the tone. And if everything plays out the way it's starting to, this draft night could mean much more than just new additions to the roster. It could mark the beginning of a new mindset in Chicago. A mindset built on intelligence, patience, and strategy. And honestly, it's about time. If you enjoy this kind of analysis, want to follow every Bears move, and experience all of this up close, make sure to subscribe to the channel.
And stay tuned, because the draft is just getting started, and the best may still be ahead.